After my husband died, I had a breakdown and took time away from work. My neighbor knocked one day with a smile and said, "You should sell. No one wants to live next to grief." I shut the door. A week later, I got a call from a realtor saying he'd been asked to list my home. I said no. Then the online listing went live anyway, with photos of my living room, my bedroom, even my medicine cabinet. I was horrified. When I asked how they got the images, he sent me a screenshot of a listing account with my husband's name, and the IP was traced to her laptop. After my husband died, I was broken. His name was Drew. He was killed by a drunk driver on a Thursday. He was just coming home from work. It was raining a little. The other guy ran a red light and hit him straight on. The paramedics said he died instantly. I wasn't there. I got the call while making dinner. The lasagna stayed in the oven for 2 hours. I couldn't move. After the funeral, I stopped going to work. I couldn't sleep. I didn't eat much. I lived off cereal and coffee. My friends stopped checking in after the first few weeks. I didn't blame them. I was just a shadow sitting in a quiet house. Then one day, about 3 weeks after the funeral, there was a knock at the door. It was my next-door neighbor, Heather. She smiled like she was coming to borrow sugar. I hadn't seen her since the day of the funeral. She wore lipstick and heels, like she was on her way to a showing. She said, "You should really think about selling. No one wants to live next to grief." That's word for word. I remember it because my ears rang after. I didn't say anything. I just shut the door in her face. I didn't even slam it. I just slowly pushed it closed. A week later, I got a call from a man named Ray. He said he was a realtor and had been asked to list my house. I said, "That's a mistake. I never asked for that." He hesitated. We were contacted by a Mr. Drew Barnes through his email. He sent us pictures and asked for a quick listing. My stomach dropped. Drew was dead. The idea of someone pretending to be him made my hands shake. I told Ray to delete everything immediately. He said he needed verification. That night, I checked Zillow. I typed in my address. And there it was. Photos of my home, my bedroom, my kitchen, my living room, even my medicine cabinet. Open, with my pill bottles lined up. The label on my anxiety meds was visible in one of the zoomed-in pictures. I started to cry. I don't mean tears down the cheek. I mean full shaking, gasping, ugly crying. My safe space, the one place I had left, had been invaded. I emailed Ray, told him to send me everything he had. He did. The photos were uploaded under an account named after my husband. The profile had a short description that said, "Wife moving due to grief." The email used was a fake version of one we used to share. But the detail that scared me most, Ray told me the IP address had been flagged because it traced back to a local account, one registered to Heather's real estate license. I called the police. They said it was a civil matter at first. I filed a report. They told me they'd look into it, but nothing happened. So I did something I hadn't done in months. I got out of bed. I got dressed. And I got angry. I didn't know where to start. I wasn't a fighter. I wasn't even someone who spoke up much. But something about seeing those photos, seeing Drew's name used like that, it flipped a switch in me. I started watching her. Heather worked from home most days, but she had clients in and out a lot. I noticed the cars, the clipboard she always had, the fake laugh on the porch. She was good at playing professional, polished, friendly, like she hadn't tried to sell a grieving widow's home without asking. I went online. I searched her name, her agency, her license number. I found her website. I found her LinkedIn. I even found a video she posted on Facebook giving home buying tips in front of my neighborhood sign. Then I found something interesting. A listing from a month earlier, a house on the same street, 3 doors down. It had the same layout as mine. The photos were almost identical in angle and lighting. That's when it hit me. She reused photos. That's how she started. She'd taken pictures from the old listing when that house sold and edited small things. Cropped them, blurred them, changed a few details. Then she must have gone further. She must have broken into my house. That was the only way to explain the medicine cabinet. I checked all the windows and doors. I found the lock on the side window loose. It was small, near the laundry room. I almost never opened it, but it could have been popped open easily. I wouldn't have heard it. Not with how I was sleeping back then, heavily sedated, trying not to dream. I took photos of everything. I printed screenshots. I started documenting every day, every car at her house, every listing she posted. I even followed her to one of her open houses. She didn't notice me, but I noticed something on her clipboard, a page with my address written at the top in her handwriting. That night, I drove to the open house she had scheduled for the next day. It was staged, cleaned, and unlocked for a cleaning crew. I walked through quietly, and I found something, a stack of listing templates with my name on them. She'd printed out for sale packets for my house. She was planning to bring them to a local event, one of those weekend real estate pop-ups in town where agents gather and advertise listings. That was the final straw. I gathered everything, screenshots, emails, IP address report from Ray, photos from the open house, even the loose window lock. I walked into a lawyer's office 2 days later and handed it all over. I didn't care about money. I wanted her license. I wanted her exposed. But it didn't stop there. 3 days after I filed, someone tried to break into my house again. It was 2:11 a.m. when I heard the noise. I hadn't been sleeping well, not since everything started. That night, I'd fallen asleep on the couch with a kitchen knife under a throw pillow. Not because I thought I'd use it, but because it made me feel like I had some control. The noise came from the side of the house. A metallic thud, then a quiet scraping sound. I froze, heart pounding so hard I felt it in my ears. I turned off the TV with the remote and waited. Another thud. I stood slowly, grabbed the knife, and crept toward the back hallway where the laundry room was. That same small window, the one I'd found tampered with, was now halfway open. Whoever it was trying to get in again. I didn't yell. I didn't call the police right away. I picked up my phone and hit record. I turned on the flash and quietly stepped to the side of the window, where they wouldn't see me. Then I said, calmly, "I'm filming you. The police are on their way." There was a pause, then fast shuffling, then silence. I ran out the front door and down the side path toward the gate. I didn't see anyone, but I heard the engine of a car start. It drove off fast, no lights on. I couldn't see the plate. I filed another report with the police that night. This time, they took it more seriously. I handed over the video. They said it wasn't clear, but they could hear someone trying to enter. They agreed it was connected to the earlier complaint. Still, no arrest. No real consequences. Just more paperwork. That's when I changed tactics. Heather had a monthly open house event in town, a meet and greet for buyers. She'd be there, along with her firm and about 20 other agents. I called the event coordinator, pretending to be someone interested in selling my home. I asked if I could stop by and meet some agents. She said of course. I made flyers. I didn't use big words or dramatic language. Just facts. Local agent Heather F. caught listing a neighbor's home without consent. Used deceased husband's name. Photos taken inside private spaces. Police report filed. Fraud investigation ongoing. If she's done this to me, how many others? I printed 100 copies. I put them in my purse. And I showed up to that event wearing Drew's old jacket. Heather saw me from across the room. Her face drained. I didn't say a word to her. I just walked around and started handing out the flyers to every visitor. Quietly. Calmly. No yelling. No scenes. Just the truth, right in their hands. By the time she realized what I was doing, half the room had the paper in their fingers. She stormed up to me. "What the hell are you doing?" she hissed. I stared at her and said, "Protecting my home." She looked around and saw people whispering. Her boss was already reading the flyer. Her co-agent looked like he'd swallowed glass. "I'll sue you," she snapped. "Please do," I said. "Then I'll show everyone the photos you took of my bedroom." She didn't respond. She just left. And that was only the beginning. Heather didn't show her face for a while after the event. Word got around fast. Some of the other agents started pulling away from her. A couple of them even reached out to me. One told me she'd always thought Heather was too aggressive, that she cut corners, rushed listings, pushed people too hard. Another said Heather once pressured an old couple into signing a contract they didn't understand. I guess I wasn't the first. Just the first to fight back. 2 weeks after the flyer event, I got a letter from the Arizona Department of Real Estate. Someone from their office had seen the flyer. They were opening a formal investigation into Heather's license. I also heard from the police. The tech team traced the attempted break-in. There was partial fingerprint evidence on the window frame. And get this, it matched prints Heather had on file from a prior permit application. They arrested her the next week. She was charged with trespassing, breaking and entering, and fraud. She tried to say it was all a misunderstanding, that she was helping me move on. That Drew would have wanted me to sell. She said that to the judge. I went to the hearing. I sat in the front row and made her look at me. Her lawyer kept trying to argue that it wasn't criminal intent, just misguided compassion. The judge didn't buy it. She was fined heavily, sentenced to probation, and had her real estate license suspended pending a full review. She won't be practicing again. Not in this state. Maybe not anywhere. But here's where I made my own mistake. I thought that revenge would fix me, that stopping her would bring peace. It didn't. I still wake up at 2 a.m. sometimes, listening for that sound. I still can't open the medicine cabinet without remembering that photo. I still talk to Drew at night when the house is too quiet. But I did one last thing. I put the house up for sale. The right way. On my terms. With an agent I picked. A woman who actually listened. She didn't talk over me. She didn't rush me. She let me grieve. And I moved. Not to run away, but to start fresh. Somewhere new where no one looks at me with pity. I brought Drew's urn. I brought the flyer. I keep it framed in the hallway, not as a trophy, but as a warning. To myself. To remember. Grief makes you soft. But betrayal hardens you fast. And when someone tries to profit off your pain, you make damn sure they never forget what they did.